Tombs Fanatic YouTube channel. I am back with another review, and this week I am reviewing Nope, released this year in 2022, starring Keke Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, Stephen Young, Brendan Peary, Michael Wincott, and it was directed by Jordan Peele, and it's his third movie since Get Out, and obviously he's still killing it in the horror industry. And the plot of this is that Daniel Kaluuya and his sister, Keke Palmer, own a horse ranch that rents out horses for movies and stuff like that when... sorry. And then all of a sudden an alien appears, a UFO or some other shit, appears, and they try to get evidence of it, including the theme park owner nearby, played by Stephen Young. Now, I enjoyed Peele's last two films, and I do feel that this movie is still really fucking good. But this... oh, and it has Keith David in it. I totally forgot about that. I fucking love Keith David, but... anyways. Obviously, with Jordan Peele's films, he obviously tries to take some commentary into it. Obviously, Get Out being about whole race stuff, while us not having to relate with race at all was more about of social or even just class talking about and stuff like that. This one takes a very interesting commentary because, so obviously this story has commentary in it, which the whole commentary of the film is that, you know, Hollywood uses and abuses things and doesn't expect it to turn around on you. This is shown through multiple ways, through the horses, them not respecting them, or even just the fact that this family has been helpful towards Hollywood this entire time, but then they just end up not using them again, and no repercussions are taken from that. But they need to respect these type of things that they try to exploit and use in Hollywood, or else they'll turn around on you. And that is shown multiple times throughout the movie, even with this UFO thing, which I'm obviously not gonna try to spoil. But obviously, I think the acting is top-notch from everybody. Even though Keith David is not in this as much as I would like him to be, he's still very entertaining in the moments that he is in this. And his character is the dad of Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya's characters, and what happened, he dies in a mysterious way, and that really does motivate them to really keep the driving force, and I feel like that really works well is when they motivate them, especially since Keke Palmer's character had a strained relationship with Keith David, and that especially relates to them trying to tame this thing at the end, or take it out. They also do something interesting with this UFO where if you look at it, it starts to go after you. That relates into the commentary of, like, stardom and other things trying to exploit you, trying to get exploited, but then it turns around on you and fucks you up. And there's a lot of good acting by everybody in the cast. Keke Palmer's character is a bit annoying in some moments, but I feel like that's part of the joke, and the comedy really does land with her and some of the other characters. And Daniel Kaluuya, while not as much of an active role as her, and he doesn't have as much as an active role of him, but it's still some really good acting by the man. Obviously, he was the star in Get Out, and I think his performance here is as good as it was in there. And there are really goodly directed scenes of suspense with this flying saucer, which you would think would be an interesting thing to try to do as a director, but I feel like Peele really does get you to be scared of this thing, which is interesting because it's just a flying saucer. You'd think that would be a hard thing to get scared by, but there are genuinely intense scenes, especially because this thing causes, like, electrical problems, so at the end they use some smart ideas to get around this. That's what I also like. This is a horror movie where the characters are relatively smart, and I really do enjoy that. There's a few dumb moments, though, especially by Michael Wincott's character in the end, that kind of fucks things over, and that kind of bothers me a bit, but it was completely fine. Stephen Young is also very good in this, playing this kind of, like, washed-up child actor who owns this theme park based off of this kind of stuff. And he also has this backstory relating to this horrible incident that happened at on a set he was on once, which relates back into the commentary. That does get into one of my problems with this film. While I did like the stuff with that backstory, it was dropped, and I feel like didn't have as good as a payoff as it could have had. I feel like the payoff could have been a lot better with the commentary in this. Don't get me wrong, the commentary in this is very well done, as in, like, respecting nature and respecting things that you exploit in, like, Hollywood, and giving something too much attention to where it eventually consumes us. I really do like that commentary that Peele is doing, but I do feel like that side bit with Stephen Young's backstory is really well done and very scary. I really like all the scenes cutting back to this old sitcom. They even have the thing playing, and then there's like a snap moment that then gets so fucking scary. But I did feel like it didn't have as good as a payoff as I wanted it to the main plot. But I feel like it was still genuinely well done, and there are some terrifying scenes in this with this UFO. And obviously, Peele puts a lot of comedy in his films, and a lot of the comedy works here. There's also, like, some dumb shit with, like, a TMZ guy near the end, which was a bit stupid, which I felt like was a bit contrived that they're doing that, and I didn't really find it that funny, so yeah, that's also one of my problems with the film. But relatively, I feel like this is a really kick-ass movie. But comparing it to his other films, I think I do like this one more than Us. Not saying I didn't like Us, but I just feel like this one feels a lot more confined and tight as Us did. The acting is still really top-notch by all of these guys. I would have wanted more Keith David, but I feel like he was in there enough, and you get the point that comes across. Then the climax is very entertaining, yet again, smart stuff from the characters, except Michael Wincott's character, but it kind of makes sense, but I feel like it wasn't explored as well. And also the score in this, which, let me see who did the score. Yeah, the composer was Michael Ablis, who did Peele's other films, and I feel like he really does capture that very well in this as well. And I also like the setting of this, how it's like a dusty old westernish town, and it's shot like a western in some scenes, and the fact that they have to use the horses because this thing messes up cars and stuff. I really do enjoy that. And they especially explore on the idea of this alien UFO thing, because instead of, I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but they expand on it to where it becomes a lot more interesting. I really did enjoy this film, even though some of the commentary can be a bit confusing. I feel like relatively it is packaged very well by strong performances, really good direction by Peele, and some really good, terrifying scenes that I really did like. Relatively, characters make smart decisions, and some very entertaining, good comedy. I definitely do recommend this one. If you liked Peele's other films, it is very good. Also, it's another intellectual property, in which it's a bit hard to see these days, but yeah, I really do recommend this one. It's on par with Us and Get Out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe down below if you guys want to share your thoughts on the film. I always like to see those. And if you want any other movies requested, make sure to comment those down below. And yeah, I will see you all next time. And aliens.